Southern smoke, baby.
Breaking out real bad. I'm so pouring the beast myself. I'm breaking out real bad. I'm breaking out real bad. I'm breaking out real bad.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to City Street Sports. We here live from the launch pad, from the spot, from wherever we from. I told him we coming back after the Final Four and said, Big Game James is in the house, simply because the Shockers, who's your daddy, going to the Final Four. So I told him if we was gonna ride the Shockers to the NCAA Final Four, Big Game James was in the house. And you would have known that the Shockers was going to the Final Four if you would have listened to what my name is. That's what them haters say. Big Game James told you that the Shockers was going to the Final Four. Take the Shockers. I got 2 out of the Final Four. I got 2 out of the 4. We got Michigan on the other side. Missed wrong on Miami. My man Shane Lockett didn't come through. And then your coach. We lost to Louisville because of your coach. We didn't make it. So there it is. Final Four. What you got? What's your take?
I got WSU beating Louisville for the fact Louisville can't even shoot. Only thing they had was a high-low screen. I think WSU can defend that well. Out of Syracuse and Michigan, I don't know. We'll have to go with Syracuse. I think Syracuse plays better defense.
Syracuse?
Yeah, so I think it'll be WSU, Syracuse in the championship.
Syracuse, WSU championship. Who you taking?
Going with Syracuse.
Syracuse over the Shockers.
Yeah.
The Shockers. I like how you tried to just jump over that hurdle that we got smashed out by Louisville because of your coach. Hold
on, wasn't you just rooting for him like 2 weeks ago?
Who?
Coach K, offense coach. Don't pin all that on me, okay? Coach K, our coach, Coach K. That's how it is, okay? Don't pin all that on me, okay? Yo, coach. You was a fan of Coach K, and all of a sudden, because he's stubborn, everybody knows he's stubborn. If you watch basketball, he's stubborn. Now he's not your coach.
Let me tell you something about the greatest college basketball coach in the modern day era, okay? There is no question that Coach K is the greatest, but I think sometimes with greatness comes arrogance, you know? Let me tell you about arrogance. You know, when you have a school like the Duke University men's basketball program, okay? You have McDonald's All-Americans sitting on the bench. Now granted, okay, Louisville played a tremendous game. Give all props. Louisville, they advanced, they moved on, they made the plays. Hats off to Louisville. You can't take anything away from Louisville because they just put a beat down on the second half. Anytime, this time of year, you can hold a team to no buckets. 10 minutes. Look, gotta take your hats off. But with that said, okay, when you have 2 guards, okay, that are running into the lane off of a high-low screen, okay, and those 2 guards from Louisville combined for 39 points. Okay, Siva, and what's the other kid's name?
Yeah, Harris.
It was Smith or something like that. I don't even care what his name is.
I'm compare him to Allen Iverson.
But they combined for 39 points in the paint. Most of that off of the high-low screen. Look, Duke has been getting destroyed by the high-low screen all season long. Miami thumped us with the high-low screen. Maryland came out, ran a version of the high-low screen. Every game we lost this year was a variation, or you've seen some hybrid of the high-low screen. And for the simple fact that the greatest college basketball coach, Olympic coaching coach, okay, the greatest coach in the modern day era cannot, adjust to a high-low screen, okay? When you're getting destroyed man to man, okay, at some point you have to look down at the scores table and say, you know what? We might need a zone, okay? And then if you have a regular rotation of guys that is simply being destroyed, when you look down at the end of that bench, okay, you have a Murphy, you have a Jefferson, you have a MP3, okay? You have all 3 of these guys have in common. They have 2 things in common, okay? 1, they're all freshmen. 2, they're all McDonald's All-Americans, okay? These 3 kids in most programs in America would be either A, starting, or B, getting some type of time. But for the simple fact that the greatest coach in the modern day era sat and watched the 7-man rotation simply be destroyed by the hollow screen and did not turn once to those 3 McDonald's All-American, highly touted ESPN rivals prospects coming in and simply, that's your coach. And that's why we at home.
How's that my coach?
That's just because that's the way it is. Cause Big Game James, okay, Big Game James would have put into a 2-3 zone. Big Game James would have been playing the freshman, and Coach K, if he was Big Game James, he'd have been playing the freshman, and we wouldn't have been losing by 22 to 2 little guards running around playing ring around the rosy, pocket full of posies, going into the lane, making layups, buckets, disgusted, buckets. Anyway, you took in the Syracuse Orangemen over the Shockers. The Who told you that the Shockers was going to the Final Four? Who told you? What my name is? Big Game James. That's what them haters say. That's what them haters say. Big Game James took the Shockers to begin it. I told you. Pittsburgh, I like that. Gonzaga, too soft. You know what I'm saying? Didn't see LaSalle coming because K-State, I ain't even going to say that about K-State. But K-State, out of there. LaSalle, out of there. Ohio State, I was very impressed with WSU in the Ohio State game. Towards the end, WSU tightened up a little bit. I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to tell you right now, Big Game James, when the Shockers do it, Big Game James is coming back. Because I'm going to tell you something. The Shockers, they going to shock Louisville, okay? Without a doubt. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah, I believe that.
Okay? Duke is a great team. Great team. Those 3 seniors, Kelly, Plumlee, Curry, will all be on the NBA roster next year. Guarantee you. Put it on the books, Johnny. Run it. Okay? But for the simple fact, not a lot of athleticism, okay, compared to the Shockers. The Shockers are rough, rugged, nasty, tenacious. Look, it's not going to be a hollow screen and Siva and the other kid going to be running into the lane for 40 points come Saturday. Because come Saturday, I guarantee if Louisville shoots 15% from the 3-point line, okay, shoots up another 69% from the free throw line.
Boy, like 2 for 11 from 3-point line?
They was around, I want to say they were 2 for 14. That might not be an accurate assessment. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I think they were 2 for 14. They shot 15% for the game. And let me tell you something. You got to make buckets against the Shockers.
And do hit 1-3.
You got to make buckets against the Shockers. You got to make buckets. But on the other side, Michigan, Syracuse, Trey Burke, Tim Hardaway Jr., Glenn Robinson Jr. You know, that Syracuse zone, I like it. Jimmy Boeheim. Some years it works, some years it don't work. This year it's working, but this year I think it's over. I think Michigan and Trey Burke and them boys. I like Michigan. I like the Shockers. I like Michigan and the Shockers. You got 2 contrasting styles of play. Because Michigan's going to want to get up and down the floor. Then you got the Shockers, grind them out. Let me tell you something. Right now, Shockers cutting down the nets. Come Monday night, defense wins championships. The Shockers of Wichita State. Wichita. That's where we going.
Yeah, I bet on that. I think, if WSU and Michigan may have been a championship, I'm taking WSU. But if it's Syracuse and WSU, I can't, man. CJ Ferry looking nice. That zone is nice. I can't. But for one, I don't even see Michigan even making it to the championship. Because for one, you can't have one of your best players going a whole half without scoring. And that's what happened with Trey Burke in that KU game. Say if that happened again, you know what I'm saying? Boeheim, I don't know. If Boeheim watched any of that game, he's going to pick up some defense on how to shut them down. And them other players going to have to play a role. The role players, they're going to have to score. You're going to have to ask some players that don't normally score, they don't have to score in the Final Four. And I'm just taking Syracuse.
Michigan, too much offensive talent, okay, to simply go home and lose to a zone. It's not going to happen. You got Burt, you got Tim Hardaway, and you got Glenn Robinson Jr., okay? Look. And then you got the young kid in the middle, Magera, I think that's his name is. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think that's the kid's name. They got a formidable 4 that Michigan's just a team of destiny right now to get to that championship game. Syracuse, that zone only works for zone. Jimmy Boeheim only gets to this far, gets this deep every once in a while because there's nothing intricate about that zone. I mean, it's got its deficiencies, and I think Michigan is going to be able to discover those deficiencies, and I think they're going to be to properly apply, what they needed to do, ball rotation, getting it down low, hitting shots. Michigan won't win if they're not making buckets, but I think Michigan, after that Kansas game, I think they have went to another level. It's about making buckets.
Yeah, Trigger Trey came through for him in the second half.
I like Michigan. I like Michigan, but I don't care. I like the Wichita State Shockers from here on out. Okay, defense. I think the Shockers, up until the Louisville game, I thought Duke was playing the best man defense in the tournament. I thought the Shockers was 2. I thought Syracuse was at 3 playing the best overall defense. Now that Duke's gone, and with Duke's performance on Saturday or Sunday just ridiculous. That wasn't defense. I don't know what the hell you call that. But I think the Wichita State Shockers playing the best defense, getting at it. Louisville, look, I'm not taking anything away from Louisville. I think Louisville is playing pretty good defense. But I think Louisville is going to see a different type of storm on Saturday than what they saw last Sunday. And I think, look, who's your daddy?
Shock the nation.
You got Baker, and you got Clee Anthony. Cletus? You got Clee Anthony. Cletus? You got Clee Anthony and Baker, and you got those guys are just sharpshooters right now. They're making outside shots. Carl Hall has even dropped out there for a couple 15, 16 footers for making buckets. The whole team's just playing defense. Look, now let me tell you something, okay? I'm a proud supporter of the Shockers, okay? I love this city, but look, okay? You're not a don't go talking about you've been a Shocker fan since 1984, and you've been a Jayhawk fan for the past 20 years, and look, you can't do that.
I've been hearing that since yesterday.
You can't do that. You can't do that. You can't say that you woo shocking it. You don't know how many people I have seen that through their social media, through their physical appearances for the last 16 years, okay? I have seen these people KU'd up. And KU goes home in the Sweet 16, and the Shockers is out in the Final Four, and like, I got a rep for my city. No, you don't. You can't do that. You can have love and you can support, but you're the Shocker fan, okay? Stop it, okay? Your team is at home.
I've been with them I swear that's my love. That's my first team. It's just I let them go for a little bit, and I happen to have become a Jayhawk for a little bit. But now that I see them in the Final Four, I'm a Shocker.
Let them go. They let them go since 1965. That's a lot of time the Shockers in the Final Four. They've been with KU ever since. And now the Shockers get to the Final Four in 2013 and the Shocker fan. No, you not. Okay? You stay over there. Because I'm a Dookie and I love the Dookies. But you know what? I'm supporting the Shockers. Woo Shock. And I would love to see the Shockers do it. But that don't mean I'm going to be ready right here buying Shocker gear because I've been a Duke fan for the past 15 years. You can't do that.
You know, I ain't even going to win. I don't even think they'll be Michigan. Woo Shock.
The Shock.
They're not winning.
The Shock.
They going to the championship and losing.
What? To who?
To Syracuse or Michigan.
Who's your daddy? Look, what did Big Game James tell you before the tournament? Big Game James told you.
I never disagreed with you.
Shocker, then you don't disagree with Big Game. Big Game James is who's your daddy? Who is your daddy?
It's not going. They're not. They're gonna go to the championship and they're not gonna go through with it.
Shockers is cutting down the nets. Shock it. Put it on the board, okay? Look, the Shockers.
The Orangemen.
The Shockers. One of the greatest Cinderella runs ever is they about to complete it. Look, the Shockers' victory. Running through Gonzaga, running through Pittsburgh, running through, nobody cares about LaSalle, running through Ohio State, running through Louisville, and now running through Michigan and Syracuse. The Shockers, Lifetime Cinemax Hollywood movie made about them, and it like Hoosiers. You call it Hoosiers, but you don't call it Hoosiers, you call it Who's Your Daddy? That's what the movie would be. Who's Your Daddy?
But they might not make it out of this game.
Shock! Who? Against Louisville?
They might not
Destroyed. Look.
Hey, you see how Quinn Cook got beat from that Jang kid, okay?
Look.
Now that Jang kid, he can block shots. I don't know if he's up. Little Van Vliet. Hey.
Look, don't go insulting the Shockers, comparing Quinn Cook's defense to anything on the Shocker Nation. He deeply apologizes for even making the even type of assessment that Quinn Cook defense is equal to. Who?
The Jang.
You said Quinn Cook.
I said when he was getting his shot blocked.
Don't put Quinn Cook in the same conversation with Armstead. It just don't even do it.
I was talking about
that, you don't say.
Van Vliet.
You don't worry about. You don't worry about what the Shocker guards is gonna do just because Quinn Cook was getting Shocker. He apologized.
I admit I'm a bit bitter, but I'm just saying that's gonna be hard. That's gonna be hard to stop if you got point guards running paint, and if you breathe on them wrong, they're gonna blow the whistle. That's hard to stop.
You crying about the refs now?
I'm not crying about the refs. I'm just saying it's gonna be hard to stop.
You crying about the refs?
I'm not crying.
You gonna cry about the refs?
I wasn't even a fan of anybody that game. I was just watching.
You gonna cry about the refs?
I'm not crying about the refs.
When your team couldn't score buckets for 10 minutes.
That's not my team.
Oh, ain't your team now?
I'm a UCLA Bruin, baby.
Just like but 3 years ago when you got Brutus, huh? And now you're a Bruin, huh?
Hey,
okay.
Way back.
It's on the record.
Since I was born, '97.
It's on the record.
Been a Bruin.
If I catch you with some Duke stuff on, it's going down.
Hey, we got the most championships in NCAA history.
Big game, James. We're gonna get out here. Championship pick. Who you taking?
I don't have one.
Who you taking in the championship game? Nobody cares who you taking. We'll shock your daddy going into the championship game before we get out of here. Oh, my man Derrick Rose didn't come back.
Can I?
No, you can't. That moment's gone.
Louisville, Syracuse. That's my championship pick.
My man Derrick Rose did not come back as anticipated. There was no dark.
I told you.
Dark rose rising, sighting. Look,
I told you last show.
Look, when he comes back for the playoffs, okay. Derrick Rose come back for playoffs, okay? When he come back for the playoffs, it's gonna get real. But it don't matter.
He ain't gonna play.
But it don't matter because we stunned Miami. We snapped the streak in Chicago. Look, we had an 8-man rotation, okay? 8-man rotation.
They like Coach K.
Look, that's all we had. Look, Coach K had 3 dudes sitting on the bench. Thibodeau that's all he had was 8. Everybody else was hurt. You know what I'm saying? That's ridiculous. And speaking of that game, 4 days later, after the Miami Heat lose the game, LeBron James publicly cries, pleads, begs. They fouled me. Look, let me tell you something. How do you reverse a call? You award somebody a flagrant foul 4 days after the end of the game.
I don't know. I have no comment for that.
Let me tell you something. LeBron James is 6'8", 250 pounds. And he cried like an adolescent, weeping child. Let me tell you something about flagrant foul. The NBA is a joke. It is a rhetorical satire of what contact. When Michael Jordan was playing basketball in the 80s and the 90s, going up against the Pistons and the Bad Boys of Isaiah Thomas and Mark Aguirre and the Microwave and Bill Laimbeer and Dennis Rodman, and then faced the Knicks when he had Ewing and Oakley and Starks and X-Men. Jordan was the greatest talent. Michael Jordan was Michael Jordan, okay? Michael Jordan against these teams was punished, okay? He was brutalized. He was beat up, okay? He was simply destroyed at times going to the lane. And you know what Mike did? Mike did nothing. Mike did nothing but win 6 rings and go on to be the greatest, arguably the greatest NBA basketball player of all time.
Some people say it's not even an argument. They say MJ's the greatest.
I take Magic over Michael. Okay, I take Magic Johnson, but that's just that. But look, okay, Michael Jordan.
That's a whole nother. I think that discussion is like a whole nother show.
No, it can't go. It can't go anywhere. Look, Magic Johnson is the only player in NBA history to win an NBA Finals MVP as a rookie. Okay, Magic Johnson came into the league and won a championship. Okay, point plain and simple. If you're talking about starting a team, okay, you want a guy who can make everybody else around him better. Now, I'm not saying Mike didn't make people around him better, but you're talking about point guard. You're talking about the most intricate position on the basketball court. Having a point guard, a quarterback and a point guard are interchangeable, okay? And there's nothing that, there's nothing that takes over a great, you gotta have a great point guard. And you gotta have a great point guard. You just do, you know?
Do you think Mike would have been good enough to run point?
No, Mike was a scorer. Mike was a scorer. Mike was a cerebral assassin at score. Some people are meant to do certain things. You know what I'm saying? Tupac was meant to rap. You know what I'm saying? Frank Sinatra was meant to sing. You know what I'm saying? The Beatles was John Lennon, they was meant to sing and write songs. Michael Jordan was meant to score. He wasn't meant to distribute the rock. He was meant to shoot it 80 times a game, but he wasn't like Kobe. He didn't shoot it 80 times a game and hit 2. Mike would shoot it 80 times a game and hit 74. That's what Mike did. Mike was a pure-blooded assassin.
I got a question. Why you gotta bring up his name every time we talk about basketball?
What? Kobe? Because I'm using it as a generalized reference for you to understand for a pinpoint.
Okay, I understand. You don't have to use my favorite player as a reference for me to understand. I clearly understand. We were talking.
Speaking of your favorite player, playoffs. Playoffs? Big game. James told you. The Lakers with Kobe Bryant, Steve Nash, Dwight Howard, Paul Gasol. Who else you got? Jody Meeks. Who else you got? You want to name all? Was it Earl Clark? Yeah.
Okay.
The Lakers got 62 people on their roster, and as of right now, they sit a half game behind the Utah. We don't have nobody Jazz. Y'all ain't going to the playoffs. You ain't going to the playoffs.
We going to the playoffs.
Yes, playoffs. You ain't going to the playoffs. But anyway, back to my original thought before we get out of here. It is ridiculous that the NBA would go and give LeBron James this foul. Because you know what LeBron's doing. LeBron is setting all this up. He's doing all this crying because it's going to be playoff time. LeBron's setting up the officials. He wants everybody to look at all this contact. Look at me, I'm getting hit. So when it gets to the playoffs, him and Dwayne Wade can run in the lane and everybody's supposed to watch while they dunk on everybody. I hate the Heat. I'm sick of the Heat. I can't wait. I don't know if Derrick Rose come back. At this point, I don't even care.
He shouldn't come back.
I don't even care if Derrick Rose is gonna come back or not because I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed.
Honestly, he shouldn't.
I'm just disappointed. I have my own reasons, but you know, hey, Derrick's got to do what's right for Derrick. You know, Derrick's got a long career ahead of him, but you know, I don't know.
I think if he's missed most of the season, he might as well just sit out the rest of the season.
Why should you? Okay, here's the thing. Okay, everybody's saying he should sit out the season. Okay, if he is physically ready to play, okay, the only way that he could mentally get over that block, rehabbing all summer and playing pickup games all summer is not going to help that mental block. Okay, what happens if he goes through all summer and he rehabs and he goes out there and he tears it again? Okay.
If he tears it again, it just wasn't meant to be.
Well, here's the thing. So you don't know. So if he's ready to go, okay, the playoffs, nothing is ever guaranteed in the realm of sports, okay? Dan Marino, statistically, over the last, I'd still say Dan Marino is the greatest pure pocket quarterback to ever grab a football, okay? Dan Marino went to the Super Bowl his rookie season, okay? He lost to Joe Cool, got destroyed by the 49ers. But everybody said, you know what? It'll be okay because Dan will be back. Dan Marino won 0 Super Bowls, okay? So my only thing about the whole Derrick Rose, should he sit out the season thing? If Derrick Rose is healthy, his teammates have been fighting all year. If he can play, then he ought to be out there, okay? That's the whole thing. You don't know how big your window is to win a championship. You don't know how big your window is to get to the playoffs. You don't take the playoffs. Look at the Lakers. Look at all the talent that the Lakers have on that team, and they're probably going to miss the playoffs. Nothing is guaranteed. You have to take your shots when you have them. That's point plain and simple. And I'm going to be fair, okay? Let me be fair. I remember when Grant Hill came back for the Detroit Pistons, okay? He injured his foot in the regular season, okay? He came back in the postseason, pretty much destroyed his foot. His career was never the same. He still played, but he was never the same player. So I get it. I understand it, and I get it, okay? I get it. But at the same time, I don't know Derrick's body. If Derrick Rose is healthy, okay, and Derrick has said it's a mental issue for him, then he needs to be playing. That's just it. If he is healthy, then he needs to be playing.
You can't put him out there if he's not ready.
When's ready? When's ready?
He don't know.
When's ready?
He's not ready yet.
When is ready?
He's too scared.
Do you think his teammates are ready while they've been battling for a 6th seed and they've been banged up? Look, if you a general of the team and you commanding the troops, okay, you got to go. That's just point plain and simple.
But right now he's not the general.
How many injuries has Kobe Bryant played through? To be fair, okay? Oh, that's what I'm saying, okay? Michael Jordan, you know, when he broke his foot that year early in his career, you know, Mike came back, you know, and he turned out to be Michael Jordan. You know, everything worked itself out. Well, what I'm saying is that, you know, if you're the general and you're commanding the troops and you're trying to win a championship, and look, the East is wide open. You have one good team in the Miami Heat, and then you have everybody else. The Knicks, the Pacers, and the Knicks. No, the East is wide open. The East, you don't know what's going to happen in free agency next year. So, you know, the landscape of the NBA could drastically change. Chicago could go from being one of the top 5 teams with Derrick Rose next season, free agency, injuries. They could go from the top of the mountain to the bottom of the mountain real quick, and then what? What good does it do Derrick Rose to score 30 points a game and they're an 8th seed getting kicked out the playoffs? You got to take your shots. That's all I'm saying. Look, God bless him. It's his career. It's his body. He's got to make the right choice. I'm just simply saying that as an observer of the NBA, I would like to see him out there. And as a statistician of the NBA, of all sports, you got to take your shots. Nothing's guaranteed.
He should come back, but he probably not ready.
He should. Look.
He should. He should come back, but no, he's not ready.
Look. The only way he's going, if he's destroyed, I've seen clips of Derrick Rose destroying people in practice, okay? It's not like Derrick Rose is still hobbling around on crutches or he's shooting jump shots off of one leg and he's just not fit. I've seen clips of this guy sit up there destroying ankles, okay, in practice, okay? 5-on-5, full speed drills, running full court. Derrick Rose has been annihilating, okay? Annihilating peeps up and down the court. Look. All I'm saying,
it's a different atmosphere though.
Then exactly. Then the only way he's gonna get ready, if he's destroying people in practice and he says I'm not ready, if he's rehabbing and he says I'm not ready, then what's the next step to get ready?
Maybe he feels that maybe he should get his game better before he even goes back out on the court.
I don't know.
He just wants to be better than what he was before he tore his ACL.
He didn't win a championship before he tore his ACL. So how much better can you be? Okay, you gotta win rings. You gotta win rings.
He's got to be a lot better.
The object is to win rings. You can't look. No one player is gonna win a championship. Okay, you gotta have a team. Right now, he's got a team around him. Okay, what happens when you don't have a team? Look at LeBron James in Cleveland. Okay, you gotta have a team around you. Point plain and simple. When you don't have a team, you're not winning championships. You don't win buckets. You gotta do that. You gotta have a team. Right now you got a team. What happens next year if you don't have a team? Then what?
Everybody will be back next year.
You don't know that. You don't know. Look, Boozer has easily been the best player on the Chicago Bulls team. They're talking about getting rid of Boozer. You got a lot of things that you just don't know what's gonna happen. Salary cap issues in any sport, nothing is guaranteed. So you gotta take your shots to capitalize. Karl Malone played 15, 20 years in the NBA, never got a ring. Charles Barkley, never got a ring. You gotta take championship moments. Allen Iverson, one of the greatest scorers in the NBA, never got a ring.
He was lazy.
Practice?
Exactly.
Practice.
There you go.
He still won MVP and he still took his team to the NBA Finals, but he didn't win a championship. So what I'm saying, practice.
Man, he didn't work hard. I don't know. I don't think he worked hard.
Practice. What?
Once he got there, he probably had some own stuff of his own.
Look, Allen Iverson was
once he got there, he didn't even.
Allen Iverson was 4'2", okay, winning scoring titles. Don't tell me Allen Iverson didn't work. Allen Iverson was about this tall, scoring 30 points a game.
That tall.
Allen Iverson was this tall,
he
like 30 points a game.
Allen Iverson was like at least like 6 foot.
No, he was 5'11", but compared to other NBA players, he was that tall.
Okay, he's like 5'11".
He was that tall, and he was averaging 30 points a game. He won a league MVP. He took his team to the finals. He won scoring championship. Don't tell me Allen Iverson didn't work.
No, I didn't say he didn't. I'm just saying, like, after the year, he just got washed up after the year. So he just didn't want. After the year, he disappeared.
Who?
He just disappeared.
He got old. That's what happens. He was a scorer. That's what happens. You eventually get old. Not everybody plays forever. Okay, careers are different, but he was still great. And don't say it didn't work, because when you're winning scoring titles and league MVPs and you're this tall, he worked. Don't believe the hype talking about Allen Iverson. Allen Iverson didn't work. That is such.
I didn't even like he didn't work.
He got lazy. You say he got lazy. That don't
after he got
get out of here, ladies and gentlemen. That's just ridiculous. Allen Iverson, one of the greatest scorers in NBA history, about that tall.
NBA history.
Allen Iverson is one of the greatest scorers in NBA history. I didn't say that he was top 10, but Allen Iverson is one of the greatest
and
scorers.
Like top 30.
But who? Allen Iverson ain't top 30?
I said he in top 30.
No, Allen Iverson's top 20. Easily. Greatest scorers in NBA
Top
history.
25.
Oh, get out of here.
I don't think he's that good.
Look, well, that's what people say about Kobe Bryant when you can't get to the AC in the playoffs. How many big men would it take to get in the playoffs? Ladies and gentlemen, this is Big Game James and City Street Sports. We're going to get ready to get out of here before we run out of time. Taking the Shockers when we get back to Wichita. We'll be cutting down some nets up in here. Get out of here, haters. Big Game James, ladies and gentlemen, City Street Sports. We out of here. Quiet.
I'm sure pouring up juice right there. I'm breaking them out real bad. I'm breaking them out real bad. I'm breaking them out real bad. I'm sure pouring up juice right there.
Now I gotta work my wood grain wheel. Popping trunks, popping pills, still popping seals.